Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here, New Jersey Exposed. Today is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Time is about 7 p.m. We're at the Tinton Falls Municipal Building, where the police station's at. They're conducting their first citizen neighborhood watch program. So we're here to check it out and see if they respect my right to record. Here we are. Let's go over there on the inside.
Sergeant Elena Mazzio, Detective Mike Sevilla. Elena is the Community Services Sergeant, so she's in charge of schools, anything community-oriented, Elena's in charge of. Mike and Chris are going to kind of take the helm with the Neighborhood Watch. So, like I said, we appreciate you guys coming. Something we're trying to start back up. All right, so we got a PowerPoint. Mike and Chris. Go ahead.
Like the Lieutenant said, I really appreciate you guys coming out. See a lot of familiar faces, which is good. For those of you who don't know me, like the Lieutenant said, my name is Mike Sevilla. My family lived in Tinton Falls for over 30 years. I still live here. Been an officer here almost 11 years. I'm in the Detective Bureau for the last 3. So I see a lot of the obviously investigations that come in through our department. This Corporal Chris Whalen.
I've been here for 15 years. I did K-9 for 12 and a half years. So I was part of the Neighborhood Watch back in the day. Obviously COVID kind of messed things up and lost a lot of people and meetings and everything got pushed out. So that's why we're trying to start this all back up again. We're going to run through a PowerPoint. This is basic information. A lot of our stuff comes from the Neighborhood Watch. website, which is national across the country. You can type in Neighborhood Watch, you can pull it up, and you can see the mission statement about it, how it's run, different PDs, whether it's a small PD or a large agency. So this is kind of tailored a little bit towards Tinton Falls. Basically, it's a program that enlists neighbors watching out for each other during the workdays, evenings, vacations, and other absences, and to creating an alert neighborhood by using simple crime prevention methods. It's kind of like our eyes and ears out there. We don't want you guys going and getting involved in crime, trying to stop crime yourselves. That's what we're there for. So this is our bridge between us and the community to help us to deter and prevent crime and actually catch crime in the process. A little bit about the structure, how the whole program does work, is we do have a president. At some point, we're going to have to put in a president, a vice president, a treasurer, and a secretary. That board, the Neighborhood Watch Board, will basically set up meetings monthly or every 2 months or so, depending on what kind of turnout we're going to get. And we're going to be able to host people that are coming in, kind of talk about what, detective will talk about what the crime trends that are going on in town, what's going on in certain areas. Then we'll have special speakers that come in and talk about safety things or what you can do to better deter, criminals from coming onto your property or stealing property from you guys. Car theft is obviously very big right now. I think that's a lot of our main focus and a lot of people's concerns in our town right now.
Just to piggyback off of what the corporal said, one of my responsibilities is to take care of the criminal activity report, and essentially what that entails is all the criminal activity that's going on within town. That gets posted weekly on our Tinton Falls Police page, so if you guys ever want to take a look at that, you go under the police department, go under criminal activity, click on it's a PDF link, and it will have the streets, not the specific location, but the streets where these activities are actually happening. I was going to print out like a set list of exactly what crimes are happening where. A little limited on time today, but in the future I will have those prepared for you guys. But like I said, in the meantime, if you guys ever want to log on, they're there for the last, I don't even know how many years, so you can scroll up and take a look and maybe even just start in January and continue to work your way and see what the crime trends are around town. And like I said, where in relationship maybe to you that they're occurring or all across town.
So going back to kind of like the structure part of it, we'll have what's called block captains, and there's neighborhood watch members. That's like the basic, member of the community. Okay, that's everyone just kind of watching, getting to know your neighbors, getting to know your area where you live, and branching out. And then you'll have a block captain, so to say, which kind of oversees, and you kind of report to that person. So we're going to have to put these people into these positions, so that way it's kind of like a chain of command, and then they report back to the board, or they report back to us about what's going on, what are they seeing. Hey, if there's suspicious cars or people that they don't notice that are walking around their neighborhoods or driving around the neighborhoods. It's all about reporting to us, so that way that may potentially help us solve a crime in progress, or down the line if we needed to possibly get information, somebody saw something, we would never know unless it was reported to us or to the block captain, and then it comes to us. So it's just, like I said, it's just us bridging that gap with the community.
Excuse me, but
Yeah.
I can tell you, my in-laws' house was for sale in Cloverdale Circle, and it got hit. My wife and daughter saw the people hitting it. Did they come tell me? No, they wouldn't try to stop. But you guys were on top of it so fast, and all the neighbors, everyone's ring camera, everything, took care of it so quickly that people don't understand, like, well, what's going to do it? Just get part of it, be part of it, and stop all this crap from happening.
I think that was
And-
my call.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And we handled it it was great, because the house was empty, but it was still taken care of. And they want a neighbor, I don't want to get involved. You have a Ring doorbell. I'm not asking you to come out and testify. Give us, and it helps so much to catch everything. And I thank you guys for that so much.
On that note, there has been an uptick, I can tell you, on calls from neighbors. Hey, look, I see somebody suspicious doing X, Y, Z, or I see a suspicious vehicle.
Yep.
Or something doesn't look right, you know. We're gonna touch on that. You guys know your neighborhoods and your streets better than anybody. So if something looks out of place, you guys are gonna be the first ones to know. You know, as good of a job as we try to do to be in the neighborhoods, and we do a very good job of being in the neighborhoods, whether you see us or not, we're there. We don't see everything and we don't know everything, right? So we don't know what car's out of place. We don't know what individual may be out of place. So there has been an uptick in that, and we do appreciate it, and we always follow up on it. And like I said, you can always go online and just double check and see what's going on, but definitely greatly appreciate it on our end for sure.
Right. A lot of times we'll talk to residents, oh, I saw that, but I didn't want to bother you guys. It's not a bother. Call us. If you don't think something's right or it doesn't seem right or that car shouldn't, call us. Don't be like, I don't want to bother you. It's not a bother. That's why we're there. Give us a call, please.
And that's the way a lot of the crimes do get solved,
Right.
you know? You might think it's something minuscule or, you know what, I don't want to bother them. Then somebody else on your street may call and it may actually turn into something. So, I mean, like I said, you guys know your streets better than anybody. So if you feel something in your gut, hey, that guy doesn't belong here. I don't know where that guy's from, or, you know, this female or that vehicle, that doesn't belong on my street. Why they hear at 2 a.m., you know, engine running and whatnot. So something could turn, or nothing could turn into something, you know?
Can you give us the non-emergency phone numbers instead of calling 911?
Yes, you can call the 732-542-3400 number.
Oh, okay. That's the non-emergency.
Yeah, or 732-542-4242. 442. I'm sorry, 4422. My apologies.
That'll get you to our dispatch.
That'll get you to our dispatchers. Yeah.
So that's
542-4422. Sorry, it's been a long day.
So a lot of times when you call our dispatchers, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, they sit in real township. So they don't, you might be saying like, hey, like you're talking to them like they know the area.
I call every 4th of July for fireworks.
Yeah, so they're
No,
not,
that's me, sorry.
they might not be too familiar with the borough.
He's laughing like it is.
So you gotta give them a little bit of
I just know
location with them, like.
And there's
You
going
were
to
on
be a
63
slight
Clover
delay
Hill.
too.
Right, so they have a call taker takes a call, then it gets sent to the dispatcher, you know, by the time, so it is a process. So.
Yeah, well, the guy tells me, he said there's only 2 police officers on duty 4th of July. And I'm like,
No.
There's never
Oh, my
gonna be
God.
a
that's what he told me.
Yeah.
Because I called so many
Yeah,
times.
because
We have a
dispatch,
minimum,
doesn't
we have a
work.
minimum manpower requirement that we have to
Beirut
meet, and
during the
it
war
is not
out
2.
there.
It is never 2.
It was horrible. All hours of the day and night.
So just a little bit about our PD, right? So we have a 4-man minimum. So there will be 4 officers available at all times. Whether we're answering calls or whatever, you know, we will have an officer that will respond. I've seen it maybe once where we've had to stack like a call where it was just mayhem in town. But we have a very, very young police department. If you guys have come to council member meetings lately, we've hired a lot of officers. We had a lot of people that retired, and we have a lot of young officers that are very eager to work, and they're everywhere, flying around, and they're, you know, these calls come in, they're checking it out. So I would rest assured that we're going to get there. We're going to get there fast.
And our Chief Toulouse, he's huge with the community. So I've seen him, people leave messages on his machine, he calls them right back.
He ran this program for how many years?
Yeah, so he's big, he's huge to the community, make sure we're in the community, making sure we're getting in the streets, addressing every concern that we get, that we call the residents back, we stop by their house, we do whatever. So he's very, very community oriented.
And just to clarify, that's a 4-man minimum. At any given point, we can have 10, 12 guys on patrol, you know, depending on the time of day or time of night. So it's not just 4 at all times. We have plenty of guys working, like I said, daytime usually a little bit more, including the brass upstairs. So it's 4-man minimum, not just 4 people working at all times.
We have sign-up sheets up here. We're going to ask everyone at least put their information down. Yeah, you can. So this is gonna go towards us trying to develop our structure with everything. Like I said, if you wanna just be a member, you can be just a member. If you wanna be a block captain, you can be a block captain. What we need to do is, once we start getting all this information from you guys, and we start getting enough people, hopefully, if we run another meeting or so, that one or two that will maybe bring in some more people, we'll start mapping everything out where we can get designees in each area, okay? Because we don't want everyone on top of each other. We want to cover as much as the town as possible. And then that's where you guys kind of branch out and start to know your neighbors, get to know them, and develop those relationships with them. So we're going to hopefully get all your information, and then we'll be able to put that stuff together and grow, and keep trying to grow this as much as we can.
Just explain on the sign-up sheet, it says position, if you're interested in president, vice president, captain, liaison, just write down what you're interested in. If you're not, just
Can I put in for our police department sergeant?
Sure.
No?
There's a long line for that.
I heard it. Captain's even a longer line.
Yeah.
Seriously though, no joke, you guys have responded multiple times. My neighbor was selling her house and somebody posted it as, this place is lit, block party. You guys, they did,
Oh,
she was
yeah,
like
yeah.
terrified. You guys were out of the woodwork to help out, and everyone who came was so embarrassed that they were like dragged in by social media. But it was something so community, and it's a long, narrow town, we have 20,000 residents, but it was exactly as if whatever they needed, and she was so grateful from it.
That was last summer, right?
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, I was out there with
Party
neighbors,
or
I was
whatever.
there drinking beers, like, go home, kid.
Yeah, we squashed that real
And
quick.
I can tell you, point of- my wife Cindy here has been the president of the Neighborhood Watch for the past, 100 years?
120?
Yeah, and take care of the gray well.
Yeah, she does, it's very, very informative, and she kind of treats it as another full-time job, because it's important. It's extremely important, and she does handle it very well. Like I said, she's worked with my Chief DeLucia, she's worked with, she's worked with Scott, she's worked with others. We've known a lot of these guys. I mean, Brendan and I are both firemen in the EMTs in town. Worked with all these folks here forever. Amazing, amazing people. All we can do to support them is to be out here and do what it takes. Pick up a phone. That's all it takes. You're not hurting anybody. Just pick up a phone.
Tinton Falls, they used to, when you moved into the town, give you a welcome package. Do we still do that?
Not to my knowledge.
So she'll get nothing and like it. I think it's what the
I moved in 2 years ago, and I don't know what was included in the past versions you're speaking of, but I got a bunch of papers for contact information.
You got a tax bill, that's what you got. Who you kidding?
Thank you.
So was it from the police department, or are you talking about
I
from the
think it
town?
was from the town, just like, welcome to Tinton Falls.
Yeah, there was some.
maybe
Here's the
some-
churches in town, here's this and that. Just like to welcome you to, I'm from 100 miles away from here, so I didn't know,
Right.
So Staten Island?
no, North
easy,
Jersey.
Oh, Tuesday, what a surprise.
That's from Ridgewood, Bergen County. It's like-
Oh, Maywood.
There you go.
Now, was there a flyer or anything about Neighborhood Watch in that?
Not at that time, this is 30 years ago.
Oh,
But I don't,
I haven't seen it, quite honestly, I haven't seen anything
So
like
it's-
that since.
it was when they were trying to put the incinerator in and all that hoopla and
Did they give any good coupons?
probably for cleaning products.
Need an uncle to
Well,
send
Well, you know what, we gotta revisit that, then. See what we can do.
Need an uncle to send
Get people to join the fire department, join the EMS.
Zip.
I'll work with you guys on that, seriously, we
Get
will.
people to join fire.
Join fire and EMS, get involved in the community, do other stuff, it's a great town. And it really is. And she watches my daughter and my wife every day. Seriously, she does. So, I'll do whatever you need to help you.
So just to piggyback off what the Andersons were saying too, like getting everybody involved, which is obviously on our slide.
Yep.
If you have neighbors that are interested or friends, obviously in town that are interested, please drag them to a meeting. The more participation that we get, if you got it, if you got it.
They said we could. And we've done like
So, it's like-
So, yeah.
So,
Mike's like a game
yeah,
of
obviously the more participation, you know, it makes our jobs easier. Not only obviously out on the road for deterring crime and you guys informing us of what's going on, but also makes these meetings go a little bit easier too. We get a little bit of feedback. You know, it kind of makes it a little bit difficult when we only have 1 or 2 people showing up. Pretty decent turnout today. We'd like to see some more. So obviously, encourage your neighbors. The more people that we get involved, you know, the safer that we can keep our communities. So.
Yep.
Did you think about maybe sending a flyer to all the town, all the people
So,
in the town?
it's on our Tinton Falls calendar, and we'll
I know,
continue.
but it was hard to find.
Yeah.
I thought I was dreaming this up because I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I'm terrible with computers.
She's the
but I
new
can look
president
into that for you.
of
I can look into that for you, see if we can make it a little more user-friendly. Talk to our IT department and see what they can do about that.
Yeah, it wasn't
But we
under
will be
events.
posting, obviously moving forward, we'll be posting all of that on our website on the borough calendar. So you can just log on to the Tinton Falls borough page and click on the calendar there. And we'll be posting, you know, the future meetings on there.
And then there's that Tinton Falls social Facebook page.
Oh,
God.
Karen.
The
Okay, all right.
Enterprise page, go ahead.
But I mean, you
This
can
whole
post it
town's
there,
awful.
So this is on our Borough Tinton Falls Police Department page,
Okay.
flyer.
Well, I
But
posted
you're right.
an announcement on the social page.
Oh, you did? Maybe that's where I saw it.
Oh, maybe they should.
Just as a, I've lived here since 2003, married a Tinton Falls girl. I have been on borough council. She married me on purpose, not now, but yes. Anyway, I have been a borough councilman, I've been a fire commissioner, I've been a firefighter. I've done stuff, and I know for a fact that these guys show up faster than we ever expect. We show up for the fire department too, guys. It took 24 minutes for us to be here. I'm like, here's the report, 3.5 minutes.
Well, isn't that special?
If we don't get involved, we don't stand up for what we own and what we live in and where we are, it's never going to get any better. So get involved and get out there. And as I said, we talk about Tinton Falls Social as the Karen page, but we don't want it to be that, but we want to say, in time, something's wrong, call. Because as my neighbor found out, when somehow her house was introduced as a party, you guys were all over it. These people showed up, they left right away, they were nice as could be. Nothing ugly happened, but everybody protected each other, everybody took care of each other. And this is a great town. I've lived here longer than I've lived any place else. And it's just worth standing up for. I did 20 years of public office. You think your life's up? Do 20 years of public office. It's terrible. But this town is worth it. Totally worth it.
Hey, let me tell you something. Brendan will back me on this. Both of us, fire and EMS in this town, since God was a little boy. Every time we showed up on scene, these folks were there before us. Every time. So, and that's important for us. It makes the site safe. We can go in, we can take care of what we need. You hear these really wild reports about people getting shot at, blah, blah, blah. Get taken care of before we get there. Not that we've really seen that here in Tinton Falls, thank goodness.
We had one, but that was it.
That was one time ago, but that was a long time ago.
Well, I try to get my son to be a fireman like me. Know he's a cop, and I love you guys. But we're seriously, the best. We are so spoiled by this town.
Absolutely.
Public Works, police, fire, EMS. Give back to the town and help out where we can, including this.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a big help. Go over the assignments and responsibility real quick. I'm going to read them verbatim, so I apologize ahead of time. So the LEO liaisons, law enforcement officer liaisons, which will be us standing up here, traditionally designated sworn officers or non-sworn public service counterparts are assigned as liaisons or coordinators for Neighborhood Watch. So we're selected because of our previous crime prevention experience or training. Some of the officers and coordinators are chosen because of their desire to reach out and work with the community, while others are selected because of their communication skills or abilities to plan, organize, and mobilize others. I think that paragraph was about those guys, not me. Our block captains, okay? So I know Corporal Whalen touched on it a little bit. Our block captains are recommended for every 10 to 15 houses, okay? And should be directly involved with their immediate neighbors. So again, encourage your neighbors to get involved. It makes everybody's jobs a lot easier, makes our neighborhoods that much safer. Our neighborhood watch coordinator, okay, which I think will be our president. The coordinator's job is crucial to the success of the program. might be the right job for a retiree or other individual who has extra time at home. That comes directly from the National Neighborhood Watch page. We can develop some sort of a citizens advisory board. Yeah, they have groups arranged of citizens to oversee groups in the certain areas. Good idea if the Neighborhood Watch plans on fundraising or a number of groups is too overwhelming for law enforcement. Again, more involvement from you guys, easier that our job is. You know, again, you guys are going to determine what your involvement or what level of involvement you're going to want to have in this program. So if you decide to just be involved minimally or however great, you'll need to, we'll need for you to be proactive in the Neighborhood Watch program. And essentially, like we said, document those incidents, report it to us. That's all you'll be doing is observing and reporting. And on that note, one of the biggest things that we find is people will call, which is great. That's what we want. We want to encourage people to call and report incidents or suspicious activity, okay? But with that being said, we need a little bit of info to work off, right? I can't tell you how many reports. I have to read every single report that comes through every single week. And I read the CAD comments, which are the notes that the callers, being the community, make. Well, I saw something. Okay, great. You have any detail on that? No. It was a person dressed in dark clothing. You have direction of travel, a license plate, make and model of a vehicle, color, you know, better description of a person, right? I know sometimes things happen so fast and so frantically that it's like, oh, I see something, I'm going to call, right? Observe and report and take as many notes, whether it's mental notes, written notes. You want to take a picture, that's huge. A lot of us have surveillance systems in our homes, right? If you can capture something on your surveillance video, take a snapshot, email it to one of us, it's a huge help. We need to work off of information. If we don't have any information to work off of, it makes it really difficult for us to do our jobs. So again, license plates, make and model, direction of travel, right? I saw the car in my neighborhood, but which way did they go? Yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes our jobs a little difficult. So really, really important to get as much information as possible. Makes our jobs a lot easier. So we kind of touched on this earlier, and we're going to reach out, as the Andersons pointed out before. I think DPW was nice enough to create our signs for us to post out throughout the neighborhoods. So we'll reach out to them, see if that's something they can do for us. I don't see that being an issue at all. It does serve as a deterrent to burglars. You know, if you're coming into a community and it's like, oh man, there's a neighborhood watch in this community, right? I'm going back out of here. It's huge. A couple of the other deterrents, obviously, you know, I stress this to all our residents, especially victims of crimes. Well, what could I have done, right? Well, make sure your house is well lit at night, right? Surveillance cameras don't hurt. They're relatively inexpensive now, easy to install, so easy. Me, I'm not technically inclined. I was able to install them, so I always encourage everybody. Like I said, if you don't have the information firsthand, we can always go back to those videotapes. So a lot of our crimes now do get solved with those videotapes, right? People call it in, oh, I didn't get to see. Okay, so first thing that we do you have any cameras? No. Look around. Okay, that neighbor, and that neighbor have security cameras. We'll then go knock on doors. Hey, did you happen to have surveillance video of such and such date and time? Let me check. No, I don't. Okay, my cameras don't work. Okay, well that's useless, but thank you. Go to the next person. Yes, I do. And they'll send it to us in an email, and that's information for us to work off of. So again, any deterrents are great. When an event occurs, get that information out quickly, right? Like we spoke about earlier. I see something, but I don't really want to bother the police. The longer you sit on that information, the harder our jobs become, right? Because now, you know, the unique thing about Tinton Falls is where we're located, right? So you come into town to do your crimes, there's a million ways to get out of town. So without a description, right, without getting that information in a timely fashion, it's going to get harder for us to, you know, be able to work off of what you're telling us. So getting that information out quickly, right? The longer, should I call, should I not call? If you're even asking yourself that question, call right away, right? Hey, look, they left my street going east, or they left my street going out towards Newman Springs Road. It was a black Honda, I don't know, it was out-of-state plates. Even that's helpful. So getting that information out is great. You guys will serve as, you know, our counterparts out there. squashing the rumors, right? You guys are gonna get your information firsthand, whether it's from the criminal activity page or at our meetings. Like I said, I'll be able to print out a list of the crimes that are happening and where they're happening, you know, or more prevalent.
The reason why I asked though, more important is if we have enough, so like, this is a okay turnout, right? We obviously have
Include your neighborhood.
15 to 18,000 residents in
So
town.
then we know Cloverdale's covered, Park
Right.
Place, Society Hill.
But if
covered
you're
streets.
looking to be like a block captain, or if you're looking to take at least a more of a significant role in this, I would use Tinton Falls Social and try to find out who's in your area. I'm not saying post your actual address, but if you know, hey, I live, you know, up in the north end of Tinton Falls, is anyone else up here and interested in neighborhood watch? You know, we're trying to get you guys to kind of go out there and also recruit people, whether you're your neighbors. Like I said, you can keep your information private. Don't put your exact address, but if you put, hey, where are you guys at? I'm in this area, if you're interested, kind of thing. So use Tinton Falls Social to your advantage, which will then obviously help us in the back end. So when you guys do call up, though, the county dispatch should be able to tell you, hey, listen, they're in the area, they're just doing some training. And or everything, they'll tell you everything's okay, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
When I was a councilman here, I got a vest for all the dogs. And we have the number one trained team in the country.
Yeah, Chris is a little too humble to brag, but we
Yeah.
have some of the best
We
trainers
have
and
the
best
best.
canines in the state, which is why they come here to
I
train.
was down in DC and I was at the Capitol and I walked up to the guy, I'm like, how you doing? He goes, good. I said, I'm gonna upset your day. He goes, I was like, I'm the Borough Council President, Tinton Falls. He goes, and I said, yeah, we just beat you. He's like, God, they called everybody, but we whipped on them because we have the best team. And they still bring that same training here. We have an amazing product, so to speak, in this town of police, canines. These dogs can smell stuff we can't, they can track stuff we can't. And the trainers do an amazing amount of work. Again, why we're so spoiled. People don't realize how great we have it here. And we have an incredible, I started with Glenn Rogers, who was in Vietnam, was a dog trainer, was an officer here and started doing it. And he retired out because he knew they couldn't hire people because of the salaries. He left to bring in 3 more officers.
Oh, wow.
So he could do that, he came in and trained the dogs. These guys, what they do here is incredible. And when I called, my in-laws' house being robbed, police cars coming away, spread out. That's what they're doing. I said, they're checking the other neighborhood. What if my house is a decoy? What if they're over here? They checked all of it. These guys are great.
So just to touch on your point, if you see police officers in your neighborhood and there's a bunch, it's probably the safest place you're going to be. If there's an imminent threat to the surrounding area, which we have done many times in the past, we will evacuate in a certain area, right? So if we haven't come and knocked on your door to let you know, hey, time to get out of here, so we'll actually have a few officers designated. If there's a serious incident where we've established incident command and we know that people need to be evacuated, we will actually designate a few officers to go knocking on doors. Hey, we got activity going on, whatever the case may be, whether it's some kind of, whether it's a fire or some kind of a gas leak or any number of things. If it's that threatening to the immediate area, we'll knock on your door. If not, you're probably in the safest place that you're going to be. All right, so people always call, well, what's the police going on? Or I see it all the time, right? Like, well, there was 1 million cops in my area. That's a good thing. We should be in your area, right? Like, we should be visible. That's our #1 goal, is to be visible and make sure that you guys feel safe. So again, if there is an immediate threat, you will get notified. If not, we're just conducting business as usual.
But if there's something that you guys have an idea for us, by all means, you know, we're open. Some people are, oh, I don't really want to talk to the cops.
I think everyone in Patriots are very, very excited to, stay connected and make it a great community too, so.
Worst comes to worst, you guys are right across the street.
Yeah. What was that?
Worst comes to worst, you guys are right across the street. You got a problem, just run on over. Send a smoke signal.
I served on council for 6 years, and every meeting, someone would go in, is anyone doing anything about the speeding? And then we put a patrol there. They come to the next meeting. I didn't mean me. You busted because you were speeding. Every time. Well, I'm a retired police officer. Then you know not to speed. So these guys are very responsive to everything you want, and they're on top of it. It just killed me every meeting. And they just complain next meeting, I didn't mean me, don't speak.
So moving forward, we would like to have a meeting once a month. Would the last Tuesday of every month work for everyone? We just kind of wanted to get a consensus on that. So the last Tuesday of every month? And then usually around summertime, we do like every other month. But we'll initially do every month, where we come kind of as like a guest speaker and talk about various topics like online scams, identity theft, which is very popular, touch upon stuff like that. All right, so it would be good every last Tuesday of every month? Okay.
So any concerns or anything that you guys feel in Patriot Square that we should know about, or anything that is going on that we might not be aware of? Yeah.
Well, the weather is getting warmer, and I don't know, what are the rules or laws in loitering in their cars for a long period of time, all hours?
So
Even
we
though they
are
live there?
aware of.
No, they do. I've been here for 3 years.
Everybody that comes and goes in the car?
Well, no, but it's the same person's car. You'll know. You'll start recognizing the same vehicles and the
Right.
same activity.
And just because there could still be criminal activity even if you are a resident.
Of course.
Sure,
Like
absolutely,
twofold.
and there has been.
You're not like,
Like 2
So
weeks ago, there
just,
has
so just
been.
to touch on this, so we are aware of a few problem areas within Patriot Square. I'm going to say problem, but we're aware of a couple things. We are on top of that, and we are trying to do those directed patrols and those extra patrols in those areas for those types of situations. So I wanted to kind of put your mind at ease if you're living in that area and being new, that yes, just because you guys are right there, we don't just like discard it because, oh, they're right next to the PD. Nobody's going to do anything because the PD's right next to us. We don't know.
the reason I asked, I
Oh, you did, yeah.
I have some lawyers in my family that I was talking to over the weekend, and yes, I understand that the first thing that we have to do with an HOA is establish if we want that, and then if we agree that we wanted to have no loitering signs, we do have to work with the police department, and we also have to understand, okay, what are the ramifications? Because if it's great, you get a sign, but you guys say that actually we can't do anything about it, then we're back to
Well,
square one.
there is a borough ordinance for loitering. If
Okay.
you're able to, everyone's able to access it online to see all the ordinances.
But do they have to have that area adopted into the town to be quasi-public?
Yeah, some attorney would have to.
Explain to everybody what the meaning of loitering is. What's the law on that?
Yeah.
The municipal, I actually have it on my phone.
There we
Isn't
go.
that verbatim?
Standing in a place without purpose.
Happen to have a loitering
I do.
If they're on your property, on your HO property, and they don't live there, they could be trespassed, but they have to be warned to
Right.
leave.
Well, we
If they're on a
did
public
that
street and they're just smoking a cigarette, walking, looking at their phone.
Cigarettes, I mean, this is hours at a time. There's activity where it's somebody posting up in a car, people coming and going to the same car throughout a extended period of time.
Here in Patriot Square?
Yeah. Yeah. And so then somebody had to go back and say, if they linger, it's not littering. But then we did look up the
The
definition.
borough ordinance doesn't indicate anything about vehicles. It says loitering in a public places shall be prohibited when one or more of the
you wanna
following
come see
events
me afterwards?
likely to occur.
And talk? And
So maybe going the loitering route isn't what we need to even do, it's just addressing if there is possible criminal activity.
Well, finish it. She's got to explain to you what loitering is.
Go ahead.
All right.
Lay enough, lay enough.
Loitering in public places shall be prohibited when one or more of the following events is likely to occur. Immediate actual physical violent reaction from a person, which violent reaction will cause a threat or harm to the peace and order of the public. Disturbance of a person of ordinary sensibilities as to cause such person to react immediately.
That sounds like disorderly conduct to me.
As to, it's not. You want me to give you the code?
No, go ahead.
Look it up yourself.
Go ahead.
360.com.
You don't have to be nasty.
Obstruction of the free passage of pedestrians or vehicles, obstruction, molestation, or interference with any person lawfully in a public place. This is 4-8.2, prohibited loitering, and you can find it on the website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
That's my job.
Yeah, Yeah, anybody have any other questions?
Questions,
Sir.
comments, concerns? Yeah, we've had a lot of the vehicle thefts in town, and I can tell you right now, I'd say about 99% of them are crimes of opportunities. And what I mean by that is doors are left unopened, right? Hey, look, we live in a safe community. I feel safe enough to live here, okay? My family, my friends live here. It's a great town, right? Like Brendan was saying, it is a great town. It is a safe town, and we try to do our best to keep it that way. We can't be everywhere, okay? And these individuals that want to commit crimes, they're not going to go commit them in their neighborhoods that are, you know, less fortunate, let's say, right? They're going to come to the nicer areas to commit their crimes, take their cars, take personal belongings out of vehicles. So, you know, one of the things, and I encourage all the residents to always do, is lock your vehicles, okay? It is huge. Like I said, 99%, if not 100% of the cars that we have had stolen in town, the car was open and the keys were inside the vehicle, usually in the cup holder, okay? That's huge. And that's what they do. They load up a vehicle with usually juveniles or minors. They let them out in the neighborhood and they go checking door handles one by one. And once they get into the vehicle, they look for anything that they can take, right? First they look for keys, all right? If they have the keys, they're taking the whole car and they're gone. If they don't find the keys, what they do is they try to find laptops, purses, sunglasses, you name it, easy passes, whatever they can get their hands on, and boom, onto the next vehicle.
One of the things they do, this happened at Homedale. Homedale is ground zero for stolen cars. Any town by a parkway entrance is ground zero. There's a no chase policy in place. Well, it's restricted.
It is.
Which is
It's
put out by
restricted.
the Jersey Attorney General's office. But what happened in Homedale was the car was unlocked, no key in it, but the garage door opener was there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So they pushed the button, they went in, they had a good time, found the keys, and off they went.
Yeah, absolutely.
become a house
That's very big. You know, if you are going to have, again, if you do happen to leave your vehicles unlocked, I encourage everybody, you take your garage door opener with you, like you take your wallet and your cell phone and bring it inside at night. Leave it next to your keys so you remember it in the morning. But that is big. To my knowledge, to date, we have not had any smash and grabs. Those are the biggest things. And if you can get a description of the person, even better, because then we can put them there. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Spread the word, please. Great turnout tonight, but we want an even better one next time. So we appreciate it. All right, stay safe.
Take care.